It's Friday, February 11. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has unveiled a $912 billion budget for fiscal year 2022-2023, which is slightly bigger than the previous $893 billion budget. In explaining the 2.1% increase in projected expenditure in Parliament on Thursday, Dr. Clark said the country was transitioning from the COVID crisis of the last 2 to 3 years to economic recovery.
The expenditure is comprised of non-debt recurrent expenditure of $539.5 billion, capital expenditure of $65.1 billion, and debt service of $307.5 billion. Capital expenditure would have been significantly curtailed in 2020 due to the fiscal impact of the pandemic. With the economic recovery underway, we're seeking to boost capital investment in fiscal year 22-23 by 20%.
He says this will still lead to a total that's lower than pre-pandemic levels.
And we do this in order to ensure that the growth momentum is maintained. And this represents a 0.2 percentage point increase as a percentage of GDP. Debt service increases by 3.3% over fiscal year 21-22, and included in the non-debt recurrent expenditure is a provision to commence implementation of the compensation restructure for public servants on the central government's budget.
$290 billion will go to paying public sector wages and salaries. The Standing Finance Committee of Parliament will begin its examination of the estimates on March 1. On March 8, the Finance Minister will tell the nation how the budget will be financed. It's time for Jamaica to get back to normal. This assertion from Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament on Thursday, where he also served notice that the days of restrictions under the Disaster Risk Management Act, the DRMA, are numbered.
I believe, Madam Speaker, that the DRMA has reached its limit. I believe, Madam Speaker, that the country has reached its tolerance limit for restrictions. And I have indicated a few weeks ago that very soon we will have to bring the DRMA measures to an end. I am giving notice because, Madam Speaker, one thing has been clear in the management of the pandemic is that there is no general agreement as to what should be done. And any action you take is subject to high criticism, some unfair, some without basis, and some with great political consequences.
The Prime Minister also announced a further easing of the national curfew measures for the next 2 weeks. During this period, churches will also see an ease in restrictions.
The curfew hours will change from 10 p.m. nightly to 11 p.m. nightly until 5 a.m. the following morning until 5 a.m. on February 25th, 2022. The current maximum of 100 persons allowed to physically attend worship services will be replaced with a capacity limit determined based on the size of the place of worship. The maximum number of persons allowed to attend will be based on the size of the area designated for worship, divided by 36 square feet.
Mr. Holness is cautioning Jamaicans not to let down their guard since the pandemic is not yet over.
There is no room for complacency. While the government is widening the guardrails to allow more economic activity, citizens must continue to diligently follow the protocols to keep themselves, their families, and loved ones safe. Persons who are unvaccinated, particularly the elderly and those who are immunocompromised or have comorbidities, remain at high risk and must exercise a high degree of caution.
Governor General Sir Patrick Allen devoted a chunk of Thursday's throne speech to national security. The recurring crime pandemic will head the government's priority list in 2022.
A review of the Corrections Act, development of Enhanced Security Measures Bill, 4. Development of Security Personnel Integrity Bill, and 5, Development of a National Intelligence and Security Bill.
As such, the Andrew Holness-led administration will press ahead with several new and revised pieces of legislation to tackle crime. Legislations like the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Bill has been hailed by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang as vital in the fight against crime.
This is a critical tool for police officers and the members of the security forces who are operating on a daily basis, working hard and tirelessly to apprehend hardcore criminals who are prepared to kill. They have had some successes, but they need additional legislative tools, and this is a piece of the legislative framework which to provide our police officers with that will assist them significantly in reducing the damage being done by gangs and gunmen across the country.
In supporting the proposed legislation, opposition leader Mark Golding says it will effectively establish a new regime in relation to the control of guns and ammunition.
Given the climate in which we are living, insecurity, the prevalence of murders, and the prevalence of the use of guns in the committing of murders and serious injuries to our citizens, Parliament needs to act and act robustly. I thank the Minister for agreeing to send this to a joint select committee. He has said that there are various innovations in this legislation, so these will need to be considered carefully. I would say we need to ensure that the work is done with reasonable expedition, but at the same time, the process must be thorough, because you want to ensure that when we finally enact this, it is as good a bill as it can be, and it has the full support of all parliamentarians.
13,000 Jamaicans are being targeted to receive benefits under the Social Pension Program. While delivering his throne speech in Parliament on Thursday, Governor-General His Excellency Sir Patrick Allen said approximately 7,000 persons have registered so far under the initiative.
During the year, the government benefited from a renewed partnership with the UN World Food Programme, a grant agreement that saw the donation of 10,950 food packages and US $1.5 million to aid the government's COVID relief efforts was signed.
Seniors targeted are those not currently in receipt of a pension, disability benefit, or other retirement or social benefits.
Approximately $2 billion was spent to provide additional COVID relief, grants, and otherwise to 195,000 families through the Serve Jamaica program.
The Ministry of Finance and the Public Services staged its third virtual Wealth Summit on Thursday. The lineup of speakers included the Minister of State in the Finance Ministry, Marcia Smith, Senior Manager of Sales and Business Support at Victoria Mutual Property Services, Alison Morgan, President and CEO of Point Global Marketing, Gov't Nixon, and business journalist Kalila Reynolds. Here are some highlights.
For this particular theme, we looked at the top 5 money resolutions that people make. According to Google, they are to make more money, to acquire real estate, to save more / invest more, to start a business, and believe it or not, to be healthier. Now somebody will say, healthier? That's not a money resolution. You better believe that it is, because our health is our most important asset.
It costs cash to care. At some point when you get diagnosed with one of these diseases, you're going to be put on medication. The medication cost may not seem like a lot initially, but over time they add up, and then you will need multi-drugs and new drugs that will come in and replace the cheap old generics that are out there. It adds up over time.
Now the thing with entrepreneurship is that it's not for everybody. So real estate investing will take up a lot of your money. Entrepreneurship, as an entrepreneur myself, I can tell you, it will take up a lot of your time. And it is not for everybody. Not everybody has the skills, not everybody has the desire to run a business. So the most accessible form of wealth creation is actually stock market investing.
Make sure that your business is actually solving a problem and be crystal clear about that problem. Now, this is one of the things that a lot of early stage businesses don't define well. They have an idea of what they want to do, but they haven't defined specifically the problem in a very granular way that they're solving. And that clarity around the problems that you're solving is an essential part of being able to do a well-defined business model that can actually lead to value exchange.
In today's extended business report, Gabriel Thompson takes us through our daily markets updates. Plus, we delve into another take from Finance Matters with a focus on business starter-uppers.
In foreign exchange trading for Thursday, February 10, the US dollar sold for an average $158.03. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $124.94. The pound sterling traded for $214.53, and the euro sold for an average $180.59. In Thursday's trading session, the following reflect the movement of the JSE indices. The JSE index declined by 760 points to close at under 400,000 units. The junior market index declined by 4 points to close at over 4,000 units. The combined market index declined by 677 points to close at over 400,000 units, and the All Jamaican Composite Index advanced by 2,955 points to close at over 450,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 104 stocks, of which 52 advanced, 39 declined, and 13 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Barita Investments Limited, and CAC 2000 Limited. Stocks declined for 1834 Investments Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited. Trading firm were CAC 2000 9.5% preference shares, Carreras Limited, and Consolidated Bakers Jamaica Limited. Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares was the volume leader with over 14.8 million units, followed by Future Energy Source Company Limited ordinary shares with over 7 million units, and QWI Investments Limited with over 2.6 million units. In market data for oil, prices rose on Friday after the International Energy Agency IEA said oil markets were tight but were still heading for weekly losses on inflation worries and US-Iran talks, which could boost global supplies. Brent crude futures rose $1.01 or 1.1% to $92.42 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude gained $1.15 or 1.3% to $91.03 a barrel. Do you have a new business, or are you interested in starting one? The Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, says it strives for cost-effective and user-friendly means to make business information easily accessible to the micro, small, and medium business community in Jamaica. In this episode of Finance Matters, host Daniel Pasley speaks to JBDC's Deputy CEO Harold Davis about how they can help your business.
Well, the JBDC, established in 2001, we are the premier organization responsible for the development of micro, small, and medium-sized businesses in Jamaica. That means that we have a suite of business services, technical services that will take our MSMEs from concept to market. If you come to us with an idea, we'll help you through the ideation process and to where you structure your business and for it to make sense. If you're looking to expand into new markets, if you're looking to develop your product, if you're looking to internationalization, we help you.
What are some of those services?
Well, Business consultation, as I mentioned before, business counseling that we do for our clients. Hand holding is when we literally walk with you through the various processes and products that you need to have established to move you from point A to point B. We do product development. We do process development. Product development, we have designers on staff.
Okay.
Yeah, designers and engineers on staff to help you to develop your product, whether it is a physical product or a virtual product. We have engineers on staff to help you develop your process to make sure that your process is efficient. And of course, you know that we have Things Jamaican as well, which is a marketing channel, which is one of the services that we offer under our marketing services suite of products as well, so that 500 plus clients can have their products in Things Jamaican, where we have brick and mortar outlets at Devon House and Norman Manley and at our 14 Camp Road office, plus very importantly, online as well. We have Things Jamaican shopping online, which does very, very well, as you would imagine, in this pandemic period. Many persons may know Things Jamaican from Things Jamaican was a company limited and used to be housed at Devon House and used to be at Bumper Hall, where you used to have production processes there. Now, since 2001, JBDC has acquired the ownership of the brand Things Jamaican, and through that brand we have established many physical shops at the airports, at Devon House, and so on. And that channel provides market access to a number of our gift and craft, especially products and clients.
Yes.
So we, through the Things Jamaican channel, we retail approximately 500 plus businesses' products through that channel, you know? So it provides market access through this very powerful brand name called Things Jamaican. And like I said before, critical to the suite of products from a Things Jamaican is our e-commerce presence, because our e-commerce presence, as you know, everybody has moved online shopping, provides now a glorious opportunity for these 500 plus businesses to have a market channel that really reaches the world digitally.
Now, how do persons access this platform?
Right. Well, first of all, you have to be a client of JBDC.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and they're the process of onboarding you and making sure that we want to make sure that when we offer you a product and service, the product and service is right for you.
Right.
Yeah. So you onboard, and you know, we onboarding process online these days and so on, and we assess that really what you need now is market access, and your product is, of course, fits into the mantra and so on of Things Jamaican. And importantly, by the way, we make sure that the product and service that is offered through Things Jamaican is of the highest possible international standards.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's not about a Jamaican product only per se. Yes, it's 100% Jamaican.
But it must
product,
meet world-class standards.
It must be world-class standard and be able to stand up beside any product in the world internationally. So we go through a market assessment and a product assessment process for you to enter the process, to enter the Things Jamaican shop itself. And then from that point, you know, the procurement process and all of that type of thing happens to make sure that you have a presence in the store. Yeah, we developed a series of workshops. Like I mentioned to you, we recognize that we had to reach our clients through new means now, digital means. So we developed a series of products, webinars, and so on. One of which is called Biz Zone, JBDC Biz Zone. That happens every Tuesday or Thursday of the week, and we have had almost 150 different iterations of Biz Zone since last year, April, on various topics, yeah? Including, you name it, how to start your business, including intellectual property management. We had a series at one time focused on our creative industries.
How can we find out more information about the JBDC?
Yeah, man, that part is easy. That part is easy. www.jbdc.net. We have 14 offices right across the island. With our partner agencies, we have offices in most of the main universities through our Small Business Development Center network right across the island into 14 parishes of Jamaica. But the easiest touch point is to come to our website, www.jbdc.net, and you'll have all the information in terms of the numbers that you can call for your respective parish or what to your respective area of business interest and so on. So that is easy.
And with that, we close this extended edition of the Business Report inside the news on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson. Pleasant viewing.
We now segue into news from across the region. In the Bahamas, higher prices are hitting home for just about everyone, from businesses to consumers. Also feeling the pinch is the local feeding program that is finding it difficult to keep food on the shelves. More from Jasmine Brown.
From local nonprofit organizations to low-income families and local businesses, the hike in prices is hitting everyone. 79-year-old Fillmore Hall is a retiree living off a small pension in a government complex for senior citizens. And with prices rising, he's trying to make what he has stretch, something he says is nothing short of a miracle.
You have to make it. You have to know enough financial mathematics to do with your income what Christ did with the 5 loaves and 3 fishes. Because it's extremely hard.
Consumers around the world are seeing higher prices for goods and services, and though some reasons for this vary by country, inflation is turning into something of a worldwide phenomenon, and the Bahamas is not immune. Those who make less are feeling it more, as experts say inflation hurts those with the least the most. And while Hands for Hunger has made it its mission to help those in need, keeping the shelves at its Carmichael Road pantry full of food items is becoming a challenge.
Everything that we need to purchase costs a little bit more, in some cases a lot more. So we operate this pantry where we purchase foods and request donations of food items so that we can give them to people who are in need, people who suffer from food assistance. A lot of our inventory is purchased with money that's donated to us. So we're finding that the amounts that are donated just really aren't going as far as they used to.
And then there is the impact on small businesses. Lioness Sushi, which is located on Arawaki, announced prices would increase on an Instagram post this week as the cost of ingredients have spiked. Owner Chef Evita Carey says it was either increase or go in the red.
It's gotten to the point where as a company, we're no longer able to absorb the cost. And this is something that we've been doing since the onset of COVID-19. This isn't just a new thing with prices going up. It's been going on since last year and even the year before that. And as a small business, we try our best to use increasing prices as a last resort, but we literally had no choice.
COVID-19 has wreaked havoc on global supply chains. A recent study by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization showed that food prices last month for sugar, meat, dairy, vegetable oil, and cereal were all up compared to December 2021. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
In St. Kitts and Nevis, the return to mass gatherings, including entertainment events, has come weeks earlier than expected as Cabinet moved to end the entertainment lockdown in the country. Glenn Bart reports.
At a press conference on Thursday, 10 February, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris announced that the St. Kitts and Nevis Cabinet had approved the restart of mass events as early as 12 February. Promoters, entertainers, and other mass event organizers would welcome the end to the COVID-19 related restrictions on hosting events.
On the advice of our health experts and the National Task Force, the Cabinet has recently, in fact just today, approved the recommendation to relax restrictions on mass events that affect entertainment and the sporting communities. And we shall do so as of this Saturday, February 12th. In other words, we have removed restrictions on mass events related or being organized by the entertainment and sporting communities as of Saturday the 12th. We urge everyone to be responsible and, of course, to comply with any direction of the police. We make the point that notwithstanding the relaxation of restrictions, residual authority always, I repeat, always resides with the police or remains with the police, and any event started could be stopped at any time on the intervention of the police, in accordance, of course, with the law.
The Prime Minister commended the task force and the health team for the work that they have been doing. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
In Trinidad and Tobago, a new approach to record keeping for farmers has been launched in the form of an app known as Farmvue. The app performs calculations, keeps accurate records, tracks trends over time, and can function offline. A big benefit for farmers with no access to data on their farms. More from Mahalia Joseph Wharton.
The Farmvue app will allow farmers to digitally store and maintain production records, track crop production cycles, analyze financial performance, and trace crops through all stages of production. At the virtual launch on Wednesday, Minister of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries Clarence Ramnaresh said technology is very critical in the success of agriculture.
I think the app is welcomed. I see it still working alongside the traditional methods, of record keeping, but I think it is very valuable, especially in a time when the ministry itself is moving towards digital transformation. The current focus is on state land.
ICT Strategic Advisor in the Ministry of Digital Transformation, Devendra Ramnaresh, said the ministry is hoping to illustrate the capabilities of digital technology. He gave an example of this through another project, the Connected Arima program.
We want to move all the way from cashless payments in the markets. So you have an app on your phone, you turn up into a market, you want to buy something, you flash the phone that the vendor has, and the money is transferred. The items that are sold on that app will now, to some extent, do some of the things that integrate with what you are looking at here, automatic reorder to NAMDEVCO or to some farmer in a remote community in Blanchie Shares.
The app became a possibility through the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, TNT, the National Agricultural Marketing and Development Corporation, NAMDEVCO, and the Cropper Foundation. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
We open sports innings with cricket. New Cricket West Indies selector Ramnaresh Sarwan is using the ongoing regional 4-day championships to focus on the fitness of players. In an exclusive interview with Newsroom Sport, Sarwan touched on aspects of the game that he, and by extension the Desmond Haynes-led senior selection panel, would be looking at in the regional first-class competition. The competition has returned for the first time in 2 years, and Sarwan is currently in Trinidad and Tobago monitoring the first round action.
No, I think ultimately performance is what really and truly matters. But I think if we're true to ourselves in the Caribbean, and if the players are true to themselves, I don't think we've had that sort of performance from guys where you can automatically choose majority of the players. So I think based on what we have is practically choosing on talent and potential. However, I think what is important for us is to ensure whatever group of guys is there, is to have a bigger pool of players like Mr. Haynes had mentioned before. Because of the limited of players that we've got, I don't think we have enough players in the Caribbean to say we can just dedicate a group of guys to white ball and red ball cricket. So that pool has to become much bigger. Of course, the players themselves would have to be able to improve, because in international cricket, you need a lot of consistency. So that is something that we will certainly try and encourage the players to do, to become better and become more consistent. Well, I think ideally you want guys to be fit, but I think it's a board policy, of course, that we got to try and adhere to. But I think to be fair to the players, I think regionally we need to do a better job in terms of keeping our players fitter. I think guys are contracted. There's no reason for guys who are contracted to the regional boards should be unfit. So I'm hoping the board in itself, West Indies board in itself, will be able to put things in place where you have trainers at every regional team and ensure that players do more testing over the years.
Over to athletics. Popular American sprinter Justin Gatlin announced his retirement from athletics. It came via a post on his official Instagram page on Thursday night, the same day he turned 40. A track veteran over 2 decades long, Gatlin is the 2004 Olympic champion in the 100 meters and the 2005 and 2017 world champion in the 100 meters and the 2005 world champion in the 200 meters. He had a respectful and memorable rivalry with retired sprint king Usain Bolt. And that's our package. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.